All right, I want to say good evening to everyone. Welcome, welcome. So glad that you're here. Excited to have your presence. I appreciate you taking the time out to find what you can do to improve your health, what you can do to take your life to the next level. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Rosalind Shaw Belt. Everybody calls me Dr. Roz. I am the CEO of Dream to Life Productions and Ministry. I'm a wife. You saw my husband's hand popping in there, his arm. I'm a musician, a videographer. I dibble and dabble in a lot of different things. Previous been president of a record company, recording engineer. I've got 2 doctorates, one's in theology and one's in divinity. So I'm not a medical doctor, but I am a certified wellness coach. I'm proud to be that with Akana. And previous been a co-pastor, love to inspire, love to motivate, love to teach. And you'll find that out in just a few minutes. So let's talk about Akana. Akana means in the hands of God. And we're really blessed to be able to say that because we believe that we're in God's hands. Our company was launched on April the 20th, 2019, 4/20. Yes, yes, yes. We just celebrated 4 years. We were in Vegas and had a wonderful 4-year conference. But we started out with our line of CBD products and essential oils. And then in 2020, we expanded to include a complete line of wellness and weight management products. Then we expanded again in 2021. And we introduced what you're going to hear about mostly tonight, the Flat Belly Lifestyle. We are customer. We're mostly concerned about customers. We're a customer operated company with over 27,000 customers. And we're really privileged to be able to reinvest 1% of our gross profits to empower undeserved communities. And we're excited because we've got a 5-star customer support. So before I get started and get into the BioScan and all the things that you receive, your health report cards, and I hope you have it out. If you don't have it out, I'll give you time to get it out. I want you to just check out this video.
2/3 of adults are now overweight or obese, and we have an epidemic cascade of debilitating disease that's overcoming the country. There's no way we can sustain the current style of care with the epidemic that we're creating with our diet and lifestyle choices.
The diabetes, the arthritis, the heart disease, the dementia, the obesity, the cancers are affecting about 70% of deaths. All the data is that those 70% of deaths and morbidity are largely lifestyle related and preventable.
Most kids by age 10 in the US already have fatty streaks in their arteries, the first stage of atherosclerosis leading to heart attacks, strokes.
Here in American medicine, we operate from the disease model. We are in the business of treating sick people. We are not in the business of trying to prevent people from becoming sick.
When you look at chronic disease risk, all the things that we walk around worrying about, actually dietary choices trump smoking when it comes to those risks.
If I could deliver one message to the researchers who are looking for the cause of diabetes and the cause of clogged arteries and the cause of high blood pressure and the cause of obesity, I would tell them the answer's in 3 words. It's the food. It's what Americans are eating.
So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. It's the food. We've been told for many years that the leading cause of death is heart disease. But here's the thing about heart disease. In 2020, nearly 700,000 people died from heart disease in the United States. Do you know that for 25% of them, the very first symptom they got was death? That's atrocious because 90% of heart disease is actually preventable. And then the second leading cause of death is cancer. And the third leading cause of death, COVID-19, since the pandemic. But prior to the pandemic, in 2016, there was another leading cause of death that most of us don't know about. You might think it's something else, but guess what it was? Medical error. Medical errors in hospitals and other medical facilities. They've said here in the Institute of Healthcare Improvement that it could be the third leading cause of death. And recent studies of medical errors have estimated errors may account for as many as 251,000 deaths annually in the United States. So what does that say to me? That says to me, we've got to take control of our health. We've got to take control of our own healthcare. See, one of the things that causes disease is the lack of oxygen. That's one of the primary causes of disease, because the human body is either oxygen rich or it's oxygen deprived. Another problem is our mucus and parasites that builds up in our arteries. And you're going to see that. We're going to show you in your bioscan. That's the beauty of it. It can detect in 10 cells where that mucus and parasites is building up, causing disease. Because disease is progressive. It didn't happen yesterday, last week, or last month. It's been progressive. And the bioscan detected when that took place from the time you were a teenager up until
So
now.
I went on to scale my portfolio and buy more
We're also
property
going to
in
talk about the toxicity.
Oakland, California.
Toxicity, because the process of detoxification is running rampant in our bodies. So we've got to get the toxins out. And then deficiency. So a lot of us, we cook out the vitamins and the nutrients in the foods that we eat, but we have so many deficiencies, and one big one is vitamin D that's causing a lot of different things to happen in our body. And the fifth cause that we're talking about and we'll address, and you'll see in your bioscan, is having an acidic body. We've got to get our bodies into an alkaline state, because guess what? Disease cannot thrive in an alkaline environment. And then, of course, we don't know, most of us, at least I didn't know, let me tell on myself, I didn't know what my blood type was. How many of you know what your blood type is? If you do, I want you to put it in the chat right now. Do you know your blood type? Now, if you don't know, if you know it's an A or a B or A, B or O, put it in the chat. Now, if you don't know, put IDK. I don't know. 90% of the people we talk to on a day-to-day basis do not know their blood type. And guess what? It quite possibly could be that you're eating some kind of food that is toxic to your blood type. You may be eating something that's causing you to swell up, that's causing you to not digest as good as you should be. And this is just a sample of some of the hundreds of items that you might need to avoid for your blood type. I mean, just look at blood type B. There are a lot of people that are blood type B, and they love, love, love their chicken. Because see, the thing is, it's not what you do some of the time, it's what you do all of the time. If you're blood type A and you eat a banana every morning, not knowing that it's poisonous to your blood type, and it very likely is causing the difficulties that you have. So here's the beauty of the bioscan. I love the results that we get, the results that we're able to show people, because it's about energy. It's based on quantum physics. Albert Einstein said it years ago. Future of medicine is energy medicine. They taught us in school. We might not have learned it, but at least they said it. Trillions of cells in our body, 50 trillion cells. And the cells grow, split, regenerate, die, grow, split, regenerate, die. That's a process. So we're actually not supposed to be any really older than about 15 years biologically. But chronologically, we get older. But guess what? We can reverse. It's called reversal aging. Age reversal. When we understand how this works, and we can cause our cells to not be diseased. So the bioscan shows you the signals from your cells. Now, our Western medicine is mostly concerned about, as he said, treating sickness, not finding out where is the inflammation, where is the imbalance in your life way before it becomes critical. So this technology is rooted in the word what? Biology. And it uses cellular and biomolecular processes to find out where is the separation. The technical term is called entropy. Where has that entropy taking place? Because when you're born, when you're a child, you've got perfect entropy. But over time, the cells in our body begin to spread. And so now, because of toxins, because of mucus, because of plaque buildup, we have situations. So let's get into the scan. So now, hopefully, you've got we got somebody unmuted to give me some feedback. So hopefully, you've got your scan results.
For the rest of your life. I'm talking about to the day that you die.
See if we can get that person muted, whoever that is. Help me out there. Thank you. So hopefully you understand now you've got your bioscan results and we're looking at them. So now on the left-hand side, you're going to see a list of things and we're looking at the first chart. And those are the items that are tested in your bioscan. Now, the second column is the range that we want to be in. That's the normal range. The third column are your actual measurements. So this is all about you. But what we like to look at is the colors, because the colors make it very simple to understand. So now, everything you see in the green, hopefully you've got a lot of green. In a perfect world, we have all greens. That's where we're all striving to get. Green is normal. Blue is mildly abnormal. Yellow, moderately abnormal. Red, severely abnormal. And you'll hear me say abnormal, you'll hear me say out of balance, because out of balance is not disease. It just means you're going in the wrong direction. And now you're going to see some things on the right and some things on the left. Now, the way God made our bodies, we're so wonderfully made. When you see something on the left, which is a decrease, or meaning something that's not working as efficiently as it should, most cases you will find something else on the right, because God's going to keep us alive. So now something else has to overcompensate or increase, or it has to work harder than it should be working to make sure that there is still some kind of balance. So we'll see left and right of the green. Now, again, what we want is all greens. So now let's look at our very first report. It's cardiovascular and cerebral vascular. What does that mean? It means heart and brain. Everything on the left-hand side in that testing item, all the way down the board or your sheet or your phone, except for the last two items, deals with the heart. The last two items deal with the brain. Now, we're going to kind of pair some things together because they really do relate. And when you see things on your report, so if you're looking at the blood viscosity and the blood fat, you may see something on the right in the blue or the yellow or the red. If you see something on the blue, that means you're mildly doing more. You have more blood fat tissues. You have thickness of the blood. That's what blood viscosity is. Your blood is thicker than it should be. If it's in the yellow, it's definitely thicker, moderately thicker than it should be. And if it's in the red, more than likely, you are already on blood thinners. Fatty tissues. And all of this comes from our diet. It comes from our animal protein. It comes from the fatty tissues that are coming from. It comes from the plaque buildup that's causing the blood not to flow as good as it should be. So make sure that you understand that, because now what we need to do is not necessarily be on blood thinners, but we need to get the plaque out of your blood so that it's no longer as thick as it should be. And you know what that's like? Remember drinking a milkshake that's too thick, that can't get through the straw? See, that's what happens. And then we get blood clots. Cholesterol. The second one is cholesterol. So again, even in this example, this person's cholesterol was higher than it should be, mildly, just a little bit, but it's still going in the wrong direction. And the beauty of this bioscan, it displays to us where we are so that we can do something about it and reverse it way before it gets to the red. But here's the thing. If it's in the blue, if it's in the yellow, and we do absolutely nothing, it will progress over time. Now, I don't know what that time is. That time could be next week, next month, years down the road. So we don't have a clue how close you are to that place where now, you got cholesterol clogging up your arteries to the point where having a heart attack. But the beauty of this is to know. Vascular resistance is the next thing. Now, vascular resistance is really something that's powerful because a lot of times people have already been diagnosed with high blood pressure. But the thing is this, we don't find out when we go to the doctor how high blood pressure really works. The way it really works is there's plaque building up on the walls of your arteries. So since God's going to keep you alive, it's not time for you to check out yet. Guess what? The blood has to push harder. And it pushes harder to get through there because it has a clog. It's like having a clogged drain. You got to turn the water pressure on higher, right? So now we're pushing the blood. The blood is pushing harder, and it raises the blood pressure. Now, the fourth circle that you see is a blocked artery. What's that? that's a heart attack or a stroke because the blood can't get through. But what is the answer? Remove the plaque. Decrease the plaque, get the plaque out, flush the plaque out. If you had a drain clog, wouldn't you do something about it? You get a plunger, you get some Drano, but sometimes in our own physical body, we don't do anything, and then we're labeled with atherosclerosis. And guess what? All you had to do was cleanse that body, flush that body, get that plaque out, and now you're moving back to a healthy artery. So now we see that vascular resistance, but now let's look at elasticity. You see, I've got 3 different areas because that word is used on 3 different occasions in this report. Vascular elasticity, coronary artery elasticity, and cerebral blood vessel elasticity. What's the common denominator? Elasticity. Why is that important? Because when plaque builds up, our blood vessel is supposed to be like a rubber band, very elastic. But when plaque starts building up, that blood vessel thins out and it gets hard. Hardening of the arteries, you've heard that term. And if it gets too hard, what does it do? It breaks. And that's a heart attack or that's a stroke. But what's the answer? Once again, remove the plaque. Because once we remove the plaque, we are back to going up to that healthy, elastic blood vessel. But now we saw vascular elasticity and we saw coronary artery elasticity. So what's the difference? Vascular elasticity is that blood vessel around the heart. Coronary artery is that blood vessel on the heart. Same principle, same plaque buildup, but now it's directly on the heart. And so we're leading ourselves to heart disease when we don't have to go there. Listen, do you hear what I said? We don't have to go there. Those fatty deposits, and again, what is it coming from? It's coming from the meat that we eat. You heard the man say, it's the food, it's the food. So the coronary artery. And then that last one is cerebral blood vessel, cerebral. Now I told you before that everything from the top all the way down to the last 2 was the heart, and the last 2 at the bottom is the what? The brain. So now when there's plaque buildup in the brain, somebody you was just talking to on the telephone, the next day you heard they had an aneurysm, you heard they had a stroke. Yeah, plaque buildup in the brain. So if on your report, you see blue, yellow, or red on the left-hand side of any of those 3 areas, we need to get working to get that plaque out of your arteries because it's causing the blood vessels to get harder. And we don't want you labeled as having hardening of the arteries. Then we've got myocardial blood demand. And I really want to look at all 3 of these myocardials together because myocardial blood demand, blood perfusion, volume, and oxygen consumption all really have to do with how healthy your heart is. See, that blood demand, you'll see something on the right. If you have anything, and if you're not in the green, you'll see either blue, yellow, or red on the right-hand side of the chart, meaning your body, your heart is working harder. Every 60 seconds, the heart demands a certain amount of blood to get to the heart. The heart, it's got to have a certain amount of blood to get to it every 60 seconds. And so here's what happens. If it's on the right, it's working harder. Now, blood perfusion and the oxygen would be on the left-hand side. And see, all of this has to take place. Oxygen is required. A certain amount of oxygen is also required to get into your heart. And oftentimes, because of the plaque buildup, it's not as efficient as it should be. So it's working harder on one side and it's not as efficient on the other side. And many times it has a lot to do with the fact that we're not getting enough exercise. Even when you see, we want to be oxygen deprived, we don't want to be oxygen deprived, we want to be oxygen rich because our body needs oxygen in the blood, right? And then the stroke volume and the pump power, again, has to do with the healthiness of your heart. If you're looking at your chart, if you're looking at your report, and you're looking at stroke volume and it's on the left, or pump power, because usually they'll work together, you need to exercise. Okay, it's not a rocket scientist. You need to get the exercise. And I'm not talking about that you got to be in the gym for a whole hour, or if you even have to go to the gym at all. cardiovascular, cardio. And somebody tells me, well, I'm a runner. Guess what? Your heart can get used to a certain pace. So I need you to hit. I need you to do some high intensity. I need you to ride that bike and in 30 seconds, really ride that bike hard and make the heart say, woo, I got to really work now. Folks start sweating and they say, okay, I'm through. No, that's when you put it in. That's when you do a little bit more. Stroke volume does not mean having a stroke. It just means every time the heart contracts, every time it beats, that's called a stroke. And of course, left ventricular effective pump power, it speaks for itself, pump power. Because the left ventricle, as we'll see in the injection, I got a picture of all kinds of workouts, right? So let's get busy, get moving, do something. We live a sedentary lifestyle. We're in front of our computers, we're sitting down all day, we're playing, our kids are playing games. Back in the day when I was a kid, we used to go outside. We were playing kickball and hopscotch and all those kind of sports, running races against each other. But now we need to get moving. And then the left ventricular ejection impedance. That word impedance means blockage. So you'll probably see something on the right. That's because your left ventricle is having to work harder because the left ventricle is sending blood back into the rest of your body. There's a whole process that God has made. I can't say it enough. We're so wonderfully made. But we don't want our bodies to overwork. And again, remember, everything we're talking about throughout this discussion and throughout looking at your report has been taking place over time. It's not about what you did last week, last month, or last year. It's about what's been taking place since you were a teenager up until now. Because a lot of times we're doing better. Yeah, we get a little bit older and we start eating a little better. Some of us are going vegan, or we're going plant-based, or we're eating our fruits and veggies now. But have you always been? See, that's what I'm talking about. If we haven't gotten the toxins out, if we haven't gotten the mucus and the plaque out of our bodies, then we've got something to do to clean everything up. So that left ventricle, as I said, takes that blood and takes it right back to the other areas of our body. So if there's a blockage, meaning the blood is not flowing as good, as efficiently as it should be, guess what? It's causing us severe problems. Now, the coronary perfusion pressure, again, when every time you see the word coronary, we're talking about on the heart itself. And as we talked about oxygen, listen, it's got to work harder. We've got to have, as Dr. Prince teaches us, we want to be oxygen rich, not oxygen deprived. Just think about if you were to hold your nose and didn't get oxygen. Can you imagine? You can only do it for so long. Well, so we put a stress on our body because our body can only do it for so long. And then the cerebral blood vessel elasticity we just talked about. Now, let's get into our next report. If you're looking at the full report, if you're a person who's got your full report, it's probably on page 7 of that report. If you're looking at your phone, then we're looking at that second picture that you took that deals with the gastrointestinal functions of your body. What are we talking about? The gut, the stomach. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if we had better gut health, because 70% of our immune system is where? In the gut, in the stomach, then guess what? We wouldn't be so severely plagued with the coronavirus or the pandemic. It would not be the kind of thing we'd be as worried about because we have our immune system opting at its optimum performance. So that means you have something to fight with. So when we talk about the gut and the gastrointestinal area, we're looking at several things: pepsin, peristalsis, and absorption. Now, the pepsin is an enzyme that's naturally produced in your body to help to even break down the protein in your body. That pepsin is an enzyme made in the stomach, and it breaks down the protein. So now, just imagine you're eating, because what we don't understand is that there's food sitting on the walls of your intestines that you've never digested, that never made it to the stool. So now you got food on the walls and you got food coming down through the intestines, and you're wondering why you're bloated. You're wondering why you have acid reflux. You're wondering why your food's just kind of sitting there, because the food that we're eating, especially the animal protein, that doesn't mean just beef, that means chicken, that means fish, that means turkey, anything that's got eyes because we weren't designed to really eat it in the first place, but now we're having a difficult time digesting it. And over time, that enzyme has overworked, so it's no longer breaking it down. So your food is just sitting there. And you're constipated, you're not having bowel movements as regular as you should. But then the peristalsis is a muscle. So your peristalsis is probably on the left, the pepsin is on the left, the absorption is on the left. If the peristalsis is on the left, in the blue, the yellow, or the red, you are not digesting as properly as you should, because peristalsis is a muscle. See, we think that our body gets energy from eating food. No, we use energy when we eat food, because that muscle is contracting and it's breaking that food down so you can have a bowel movement. You don't have a bowel movement and you see whole food coming through your body. Something took place. And guess what? The more you do it, the tighter it gets. So your body gets tired, and we eat and we go to sleep because there's already food on the walls of our intestines. So our intestines are having a difficult time because that peristalsis has been overworked over time to the point where it said, I don't even feel like working. I'm not going to even break this down. So now you got all this stuff just sitting in your intestines. Mostly because we don't recognize it takes time for food to digest. So we put all kind of food in our body. Just look at this chart. Because according to the Mayo Clinic, after you eat, it takes 6 to 8 hours for food to pass through your stomach. And they say it takes about 36 hours for the whole process to take place. How many of us wait 36 hours before we eat again? No, nobody, right? So we eat again and we put more food on top of the food we just had and more food on top of that food we just had. And some of it says, I can't go through. So our diet is not conducive for a long life. That's why we got to change some things. And when we understand the theory behind all this, the theory behind it all is what blows me away when I think about it. Our body temperature is 98.6, our normal human body temperature, somewhere in that, right? Anything that you eat that has a normal body temperature higher than yours causes your body to have a difficult time to digest it. Look at the cow, 100 to 102.5. So it's because their protein and oils aren't easy to break down, so it clogs you up. But look at the fish. So you wonder why it's so much easier to digest fish, because in 40-degree water, we're talking about 60 degrees. It's lower than your normal body temperature. So now let's look at this, finish looking at this gastrointestinal area, absorption. Really, this is so important because a lot of times we're even taking medication. But if you're not absorbing the medication, and then you go to the doctor and he says, well, this didn't work, let me give you another pill. Could it be that you're not even absorbing that medication because the drain is clogged? We're taking vitamins and we're not absorbing them. So what are we doing? Really wasting a lot of money. It's just going straight through. Have you ever eaten corn and seen how it goes straight through? It's not being absorbed. It's not being broken down at all, right? Manufactured, that's all. So if you're on the left, understand that we need to cleanse, flush your gastrointestinal area. And then the small intestines are the same thing. Same peristalsis, same absorption. Where's yours? It'll probably be on the left. If it's not in the green, it's on the left. And it is directly related to how well you're digesting your food, how well you're absorbing your food, how well the enzymes are breaking up that protein. And then look at the large intestines. So oftentimes people will do better maybe in the large intestines, but they're really having difficulty in their small intestines, or vice versa. So when you look at the large intestines, you see the same words, right? The peristalsis, the absorption, and you also see some intestinal bacteria. All of this is food related. Because, there's some things we can't do anything about. They're shooting up the chickens and the cows and all this kind of stuff. They're spraying pesticides and, stuff on our fruits and vegetables. Well, you can't do anything about that. But guess what you can do? You can do something about flushing your body, cleansing your body. And even that last one, the intraluminal pressure. See, when so much food is in the large intestines over time, there's no more space. So now it puts pressure on the walls of your intestines, and the walls begin to weaken. So when we're feeling all these things in our physical body, we don't recognize what am I feeling? Why am I bloated? Why am I hurting? Why does my stomach hurt? Right? And when we realize this and really get this, we'll start taking the time to cleanse our intestines, because we weren't designed to really eat meat. Watch this video. Now, why can't the lion catch the gazelle? Because the lion is a carnivore, eats flesh. The gazelle is an herbivore, eats plant. Because he tried to sneak up on that gazelle, even sneaking up on him. Once the gazelle realized he was in danger, fight or flight, right? He was able to outrun the lion. Lion didn't even try. He said, oh, I can't do it. I didn't get close enough without him seeing me. Now let's talk about the liver. Page 12, if you have your full report. Pull up that picture on your phone if you have it. The liver, really, I spend more time on this particular report than I do any other, because I realize that what takes place here, especially the fifth line, liver fat content. Liver fat content, if it's on the right, if it's in the blue, the yellow, or the red, especially if it's in the yellow or the red, you have a fatty liver. You have a fatty liver. Why is that important? Because progressively, you're moving towards liver disease. And it's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. See, a lot of us, we've heard of cirrhosis of the liver, and we've claimed that to be those that are alcoholics. But guess what? If you have a fatty liver and do absolutely nothing about it, that fatty liver progresses because it gets harder. Now, why is that important? What's this thing about the liver? But just think about your car, your automobile. Every 3,000 miles or so, if you got a truck, it might be more miles than that, you get the oil changed. But they don't just change the oil, they also change the oil filter. Now, what if they didn't change the filter and they only changed the oil? And they sent the clean oil through a dirty filter. What would that be? Dirty oil. Clean oil going through a dirty filter. Well, guess what the job of the liver is? To filter the blood. So when I see a fatty liver, I always take people right back up to the cholesterol, the fatty tissues around the heart, the restrictions and the impedances in the heart. Why? Because that dirty blood is traveling. Where does blood go? All over your body. What does scripture say? The life of the flesh is in the blood. So what do we need to do? Cleanse our liver. Make that fatty liver go back to a healthy liver by flushing it and cleansing it and causing it, getting those deposits of fat away from it, the scar tissue that's trying to form, dismiss that just by cleansing the liver. It's a full body. We need a full body cleanse. We don't just need a colon cleanse. I had a colonoscopy. No, you need a full body. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about the body being acidic. Oftentimes people don't understand when I say acidic or alkaline, but here's what you do understand: a Duracell battery. What does it say on it? It's an alkaline battery, right? So how does that work? You put it in your player, you put it in your remote control, you put it in whatever you put it in, and it plays and it plays and it plays and it plays, and then it begins to play slowly. Why? Because it's lost its alkalinity and now it's acidic. So our body does the same thing. Again, why does it do it? Because of our diet, because of the toxins, and because of stress. So where's yours on your report card? Is it in the red? Now there's no gray area here. It's either red or green. Now there's some other things here. Your responsibility. How are you responding to things, or are you reacting to things? How's your mental power? How's your water shortage? You ever went on a diet and the first thing you lose was water weight? Hypoxia, because water is just designed to cover up the cells and to protect those cells, right? Hypoxia, but we don't drink enough water. We don't drink enough water. I hear somebody, I don't like water. Well, you need to start liking it because your body's made of it. Hypoxia has to do with the oxygen in your body. But the pH, if it's in the red, and 90% of the people that I scan on a day-to-day basis, their pH is in the red, meaning their body is more acidic than it is alkaline. And let me say this again, disease cannot dwell in an alkaline environment. So where are you? 3, 4, 5, and 6? Is that where your diet is? If your diet is in 3, 4, 5, or 6, that's why your body's acidic. We need to be more 7, 8, 9, and 10. Even if you're not vegan or vegetarian, you've got to incorporate more foods from the right side of the spectrum. And as you begin to do that, your body begins to change. That's why I love the bioscan, because we can do the bioscan. We can do the bioscan like we've done for you. You can go and make some changes. You can do some of the things and suggestions that we're going to give you in just a few minutes. And then we can come back and do another scan. Because when we come back and do another scan, it's because you've made a decision to do something. I use this example because most of us have computers. Have you ever had a computer that slowed down, stopped working? Did you do anything to it? Did you not do anything? No, you did something. You maybe took it to the shop and you let them do it, but guess what they did? They freed up your disk space, they defragmented, they added some more RAM, they removed some viruses and spyware. They might have even hit the reset button. That's the challenge I'm making to you today. I want you to hit the reset button. Because I live in Houston, Texas, and we have hurricanes. We do have some tornadoes. I mean, people have things in areas now that they don't usually have areas. Some areas have blizzards and storms. But before it comes, they give you a warning. And when we get a hurricane warning, we do something about it. We go to the store, we buy extra water, we go and buy things you need to eat that you don't have to use the electricity with in case the electricity goes off. What am I saying? I'm saying we do something. We do something about it. We don't just not do anything. We prepare. So what am I saying? I am saying that this bioscan is that warning. And you don't need to leave here today and not do anything. You need to flush your body with a cleanse, with a full body cleanse. Not just a juice cleanse, a full body cleanse. That's because the toxins have got to go. The mucus has got to come out of our body. Milk does not do the body good. We've been drinking milk, we've been having cheese, we've been having dairy, all in our body, and it's built up over time. It's got to go. It's got to come out. We got to get the waste out, the W-A-S-T-E. When you get the waste out, guess what happens to the weight? The weight decreases as well. And it really does happen right around the flat belly. That's why we call it the flat belly lifestyle. We've had one young lady that I personally know of that on day 10 of doing a full body cleanse, parasite came out. She was on her way to be having a coloscopy bag, and yes, there was a creepy crawler in the toilet. Now, that hasn't happened to me, so I hadn't seen that, but yep, it changed her life. She didn't have to have the surgery. Listen, but I did see a whole lot of plaque coming out because I looked it up to see what it looked like, plaque coming out your body. Plus, you're going to be juicing and have fruits and vegetables. But I'm not going to talk about that. I've got another lady to come and talk about this because I have so much respect for Miss Anna Gallagher. She's a mother, she's a grandmother, she's an entrepreneur, she's an econopreneur, and she's a certified wellness coach. And she just loves people. She loves the Lord. And I'm just impressed with her every time that I get a chance to talk with her because she's all about educating herself and learning. So I'm going to get out the way and she's going to talk to you guys about what the next steps are based on what you saw in your report. Miss Anna, are you out there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you faintly.
Faintly?
Go right ahead.
Is that better?
Yes.
Good
go ahead.
evening, everyone. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. I'm going to talk about our cleanse. Take the 7, can you hear me? Take the 7 of the 21-day raw cleanse. One of the best ways to elevate your energy is by detoxifying your body. Daily juice recipes, when you get either the 7 or the 21-day cleanse, you're going to get 3 juice recipes with it. So you're going to have to do a little juicing, but they are delicious, delicious. You're going to use the items I'm going to talk about with your juice. Number 2, your approved grocery list is for you to help you with the raw meal plan. Now, number 3, we're going to talk about the 21 and 7-day cleanse products. Number 1 is going to be the mucus eliminator. It's the eliminator because it's going to remove mucus and parasites from your system. This is a powder. It only takes 1 teaspoon in 8 ounces of water, or either you can put it in your juice when you drink your juice, because you will be drinking juice. Men 24 ounces, women 16 ounces. Our second one is going to be your cleanse. It's called the purifier. This is going to cleanse your colon and detox your bodily organs. This is a tea. You will boil 45 ounces of water, and you will drop the tea bag in it, put the top on it, cut it off, let it sit overnight, and you will be drinking 4 ounces before 8 p.m. or by 8 p.m. each day that you're doing your detox cleanse. And the third one is going to be the it's called the replenish. Well, it's going to replenish you with vitamins and minerals. Just a moment. This third one is called the I'm sorry.
The regenerator.
The regenerator. Thank you. It's going to replenish you with vitamins and minerals. And this is also a powder. You will use 2 teaspoons in your juice. Each time you drink juice, that you will be drinking 3 times a day. So these 3 items are going to help you on your 7 and or your 21-day cleanse. Now there's a few other items that you will need to use with it. You're going to have, to your left here is showing a bottle of alkaline water. You can choose what alkaline water you want to purchase. The next one to it is going to be your aloe vera juice. The next one will be cayenne pepper. Now, all these items that I'm mentioning now, the aloe vera juice and the cayenne pepper, will be the items that you will be using in your juice. You will use your liquid chlorophyll and also your flaxseed oil. These items go in your juice. Then we have a grocery list. These groceries are things that you add on before your cleanse, but that's just what I've told you about. These are some of the stores that you can purchase these items at, just to name a few. Of course, you can purchase them at whatever store you normally shop at. We have listed here the ones that we normally shop at, or most people do. And I believe that tells you everything you need to know. So back to you, Dr. Ross.
Thank you, Miss Anna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you so, so much. So listen,
Most
hey,
welcome.
now you understand the process. Now let's understand how you get the process done. I want to introduce you to a lady that I think so highly of. I'm impressed with her every time that I hear her speak. I'm impressed with her every time I'm in her presence, because she has a passion for people and she has a passion for the performance of people. She's a leadership engager. I mean, nobody is a stranger to her. She just has the ability, and really it's a gift, because she knows everyone, because she's great at developing partnerships. So she's never a stranger to anybody. She's got a ton of certificates, so just certified in so many different specialties. So she is, to me, like a specialist, right? But one of the things that she's really a good specialist at and great is a grief recovery specialist. So if you're ever in that kind of situation, you want to get in contact with her, because she's really a connector. She just knows how to connect people, how to connect the dots, and she's going to be responsible tonight to help you get connected. Kim Kerr, are you out there?
I am, Dr. Ross. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay.
Okay, great. So good evening, everyone. Dr. Ross is so gracious. She's the one that inspires me. She's probably the most people-oriented person I've met. She cares about everyone. And I'm grateful for the day that she cared enough about me to pause her schedule to come and do a bioscan for my family. She essentially set me on a course that I didn't know I was on. Frankly, she bioscanned me in May of 22. I understand that I had a red fatty liver, and it took me about umpteen times to hear her give that talk, Dr. Prince give the talk, our naturopath, relative to the impacts of a fatty liver. Well, let me tell you, I'm happy to report that in January, my liver turned from red to yellow. Again, thanks to Dr. Roz and understanding that though it's not green yet, Kim, you are moving in the right direction. And so again, I just want to say thank you, Dr. Roz, for all that you did to help me and my family on this journey of wellness. Little slide in, I put my mom on the 21-day cleanse and saw some improvements. And as soon as she slipped back into her old habits, my new latest breaking news is that mom is back up again on her A1C. And she's now in the challenging areas relative to cholesterol. So I have the positive test case of my liver is improving, my habits are making a difference. And I also have it that I've tested it with someone else who has serious underlying conditions. And when they slip back to their normal patterns of yesterday, they need once again to go back to medication. I'm not a fan of this direction. So you can imagine what Mother's Day and my mom's birthday in the coming week is going to look like. So Roz, if you could advance the slide for me. What I want to share with you though is really relative to taking on the flat belly lifestyle for yourself. I joined forces with Roz all in. Once she got me on the phone to understand more from the naturopath, I said, sign me up so that I can be a coach for my own learning. I'm an education junkie. I need to understand how things tick. But then the opportunity for me to help my mother who's diagnosed with dementia, diabetes, now obviously the cholesterol spike, as I just shared, high blood pressure, and some other things that had her on medication. And I just wanted to continue the trend of getting her off of those meds and myself avoiding all of that at all costs. And so for you to get into the flat belly lifestyle, there are a few things to consider. Do I want to be a customer, basically a consumer of the product? I would just want a 21-day cleanse, or I just want a 7-day cleanse. And that's enough for me for now. If so, then here, our 21-day cleanse package for your information is $299. The person who invited you to the call can certainly give you more information on how to place that order. And if you think that just 7 days, just putting your toes in the water is where you want to start, it's not my recommendation. I always push people to 21 because I know that if you go all in, having done Dr. Sebi's plan before, going away for a month, 21 days lets you really kind of create some new habits. 7 days will help you clean up, but 21 days will help you reset yourself completely and start some new habits. But this is your entry point if you simply want to be a consumer, just like you go to Walgreens, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Costco. I just grab the stuff off the shelf, do what I need to do with it, come back for it when I need it again. This essentially will be your online access to do that. But if you're interested in being a value add to yourself, your family, and your extended community, so many ways to do this. I'm going to talk to you about this Wellness Coach Dispensary, but I just want to tell you what I did. I was not selling anything. I honestly was not marketing or distributing anything. I was sharing myself and my story, and I was inviting those closest to me to scan parties. I said, hey, Dr. Roz has a piece of equipment that I have paid $150 to see a naturopath to get the results from, but ours is free. And then we offer you an opportunity to put yourself as a customer or a wellness coach or somewhere on the spectrum in between those so that you can take advantage of it. Well, once I got access, this $14.99 plan was what I knew was right for me. How could I say that again? I spent thousands of dollars at Dr. Sebi's village in Honduras. I had to fly there, deal with lodging, food, etc. And then I also took a bunch of stuff that I couldn't read or understand, whereas our 3-step system has products I can understand, ingredients that I can research and understand for myself. And then as a wellness coach, I can hand it off and cause others to learn. So this is what I got in my $14.99 kit. And I just want to tell you, the first 2 items were enough. I was sold at hello because I knew I was going to do a 21-day. And I knew that I was committed to every 90 days doing a 7-day cleanse, again, to sort of continue refreshing. And if you knew my story, you would know about my 5-month pregnancy equivalency with tumors that made this a real cause I needed to get in front of. And I was carrying those tumors without knowledge of the toxins. This was my way out, and it was a way to help me help my family. And again, all these other products. $14.99, 6 sessions of training, all of these products, and basically the training comes out to almost $100 a session. It really is a valuable product, and I think that it is neatly packaged for you to get it done in 6 sessions, get your scan equipment if you so choose. Don't have to be a scan coach, can just be a wellness coach. Partner with someone like Roz, who is a scan coach, and service your family, your friends, and your prospective clients. Earlier entry points are those who just want the starter dispensary. The numbers are so close. Did you see that $119 for a 7-day kit versus $199 for a 7-day kit? Some more products, as well as the education that comes along with starting out a wellness dispensary. The other new valuable product that we have is a lifestyle coach pack. This is for people who know they want to do a 21-day cleanse. So on the right-hand side, you know you want to do 21 days. Why start at $300 when at $399? You can have your own online store. You can invite others to help you along the journey, building your community, and you can help your family by being able to give them access to our tools at discounted pricing. And so those are the 3 entry points that I'd like to share. There is 2 more. I'm not sure, Dr. Ross, we have the next frame to share. We don't. There are 2 others, not as intriguing from my perspective, but there's one at $7.99, you get a 7-day kit. And then there's also a 30-day free test drive. It is worth checking out. And I just want to say that this is the way that I was able to elevate not only myself, my family, and everyone around me. And I just want to say, a fatty liver is a silent killer. Don't get caught.
Awesome. Oh, dropping the mic, y'all. That's dropping the mic. So listen, hopefully that you have the answers that you were looking for based on your report card. See, this is about you. And we're here because we care enough. We all have a passion for making sure that we get this information out to people, because we're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. That's where it starts. Now, you got a report card that showed you some things. And people sometimes say to me, well, my doctor didn't say so-and-so. My doctor didn't show me this. Well, guess what? Equipment in our Western medicine is not even calibrated to see what we showed you on that bioscan. Western medicine, Eastern medicine shows you when 10 cells get out of order. Western medicine shows you when 10,000. When would you prefer to know you've got something? 10 cells or 10,000? So my challenge to you is, don't let the hurricane come. Get back with the person who invited you. If either one of us on our team shared this with you and did your scan, you should have our information to get back with us, and let's get you signed up tonight. Because guess what? You're going to do it for yourself, but you're not going to do it by yourself. We're going to coach you through it. All right. Any questions for anybody?